Hi there, my friends. I hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I thought I would do a really quick video here of something I learned this week, and it's called Momigami. Momigami. It's a Japanese word meaning kneading paper, kneading as in Kneading. It's a very old traditional technique, and it's originally, it was made with konjaku, starch, and it was to strengthen kozo paper. And it's the idea of crumpling the paper to achieve a high degree of flexibility. And it was used in the making of materials. Like sheets of momigami can be dyed or left plain, and then they're glued end to end to form a roll or a bolt and then sewn into clothing. So yeah, it's been around for actually hundreds of years, from my understanding. And there's another technique that uses tapioca starch to do this. Now I'm going to add that little recipe in the description for the tapioca starch to work with that rather than oil. But for today's sake, I'm just using olive oil. And it was suggested, I watched 5 or 6 videos online, and so I can't credit anybody in particular because I watched so many of them. But it's just the idea of taking paper and kneading it until it becomes like a fiber. So I'm going to take this jelly printed sheet of cardstock and just show you how easy this is. So from my understanding, you can use coconut oil. I'm using light olive oil. Just fold it in like this. Now this is easy, and crumple it up until you have a little ball. So you crumple it, passing it basically from one hand to the other. And what you're doing is you're massaging basically the oil into the fibers of the paper. So adding the oil to my hand, and come in and do it again. Now you hear that crunch? That's going to go away when you've kneaded it when you've kneaded it enough to consider it more of a fiber than a paper. So crunch it and knead it back and forth for a while. Open it up. Now this is, again, as I said, originally it was made to be incorporated in fibers for clothing. But since that, people have adapted it with this technique, for example, to be used in, you can use it in collages. A lot of people use fibers and, material in collages. I can picture people using it in their journals. I know a lot of people use cloth in their journals. So yeah, it's just a fun technique. Oil my hand up again. Now you don't want to be too aggressive in the beginning because you could rip your paper. So as you may notice, you're not getting as much of a crunchy sound now either. So it's working its way in. So what happens when you get to the point of it being where it needs to be, you'll notice that your paper's gotten smaller and darker. So, and that's to be expected. Don't be surprised by that. And I'm just squeezing, going hand to hand, squeezing it tight as I can. 15 or so times, and then open it up. And I'm assuming, now the videos I watched didn't explain why you're opening it up in between, but I'm assuming it's to stretch the fiber again and to make sure you get, you know, the whole entire area treated with the oil. Now, like I said, originally this was used with a specific starch, and then people made it with tapioca starch, and the videos that I watched were doing this technique with the oils. Now this isn't that much different than making rice paper. I have a video that I'll attach in the, I'll put a link to it in the description box on how to make rice paper. Much the same as this, except in that video I used hair conditioner that has glycerin in it. So, and some people make rice paper with glycerin, but you can make it, as I said, just with hair conditioner. So yeah, I'll put that link in the description. I would love to know if you're here from a mixed media group, if you're here from because you were browsing the internet, were you looking for this? I don't think a lot of people have heard of Momigami, so I'd be surprised if you did a search for it, but I mean, that's possible too. But I'm curious if you came in, like I said, from a mixed media group, or from you know, which group you, because I do post my videos on different groups, simply because I do different mediums. I do watercolor, alcohol ink, you know, jelly prints. That's a new thing for me. Collage work, resin work. So you can see that how this is getting, now I got a little rip there, and that's fine. Chances are you're going to use pieces of this for a collage, or, you know, you might tear this in half and use it on a tag or on one of your pages in your journal. Now we're close to being where we need to be. After you've gotten it to the point of it feeling like it's a sheet of material, just lay it out somewhere. I just put a clip on mine. I put a clip on these two, just one of these little clips, and hung it up. After about, this has got a little bit of a smell right now. After about 4 or 5 days, there's no smell, and it's I guess what you would refer to as it being treated. Now it's starting to feel like material. I think you can tell even with the camera that it's no longer seems to be like paper. I'm going to do this a few more times, a little bit more oil. Just something that I thought, I ran across it. I don't know how that came up for me, but it came up in some search I was doing. And I thought, well, I'm going to check that out. And I thought, well, this is interesting. So I thought I'd share it with my subscribers. And as you know, I like to change it up. Try to provide some informational videos like this one, or the rice paper, or, you know, I have a few informational videos. Resin versus varnish. It's another one of my videos. What else is on there? Whole list of things. You can look at my playlist, or you can just click on videos and it'll show you, you know, over 80 videos on there. So hopefully there's something of interest for you. Okay, this is not feeling like paper now at all. This definitely feels like a piece of cloth. And you see it did get darker and it did get smaller. So interesting. Isn't that interesting? Look how cool that is. I'm going to do one more shot. I think I'm going to turn it over. So I hope everybody's well out there. We're due for our third storm of the season. It's supposed to come in sometime between tonight and tomorrow. Nova Scotia, often we get a lot of snow and then we get rain, because Nova Scotia is a peninsula, so we're almost totally surrounded by water, by the Atlantic Ocean. So, and we have rather temperate winters. Doesn't the average temperature is -1. Well, we get our share of snow though. But like I said, often followed by rain. If it warms up a bit, then we end up with rain. So yeah, I think we're pretty well done with this one. I just think that's cool. And it's cool if you like using, and I understand they sewed this back in the day too. So I imagine once this is dried and the oil has, you know, seeped into the entire piece, that you could gently sew this in your journals or a collage. It's often used for collages. So yeah, there it is. And I hope that was useful for you folks. Just as an example. See how flexible that is? This is just like material. Nice soft material. So, would love a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, that'd be great too. Meanwhile, you folks have an absolutely fabulous day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.